ethnicity?
Oh.
All ethnicities or what?
All ethnicities.
You like curvy or thin?
I like thick.
Oh, damn,
okay.
boy. Oh.
Boy, Kyle said he like them thick. Boy, he said he like more cushion for the pushing. That's my guy, right? That's my guy. I knew he had similar interest. I know some of you guys probably watched the intro clip and was like, what is going on, right? What is going on? And let me explain here. I just finished watching an awesome interview that Kyle Rittenhouse did. He's doing a ton of interviews now. This one in particular, though, I thought was pretty great, right? Because it was uncut, kind of the way I like it, unfiltered. And it really showed his personality and who he actually is as a person. Now, this interview was on the podcast You Are Here, which is done through the Blaze TV. It features Sarah Gonzalez, Eliza Schaffner, and Sydney Watson, who I believe is like a YouTuber as well. Highly recommend that you go watch it. Actually, the whole point of this video is to plug it and to say, hey, you know what? You should go watch it. Link is in the description because I think it really does reveal, the kid's personality and who he actually is. And I like this a whole lot better than the Tucker Carlson interview that, in my opinion, kind of seemed a little scripted, right? Even though, I think they were his genuine thoughts. I just don't like the whole, scripted, like formal stuff. I like informal, just kind of shooting it with your friends, right? And this is what it was. Okay, and doing this interview, it's uncut, right? There's a lot of cursing, stuff like that. So if you don't really like that stuff, this is probably not for you. But during that interview, he said some things that I want to talk about. But before we get into that, I actually want to play some highlights from this interview, some of the more funnier parts and, some of the more serious parts, so that you guys can get a feel for kind of the format and kind of what was talked about and just a feel for just kind of how it was. So I'll go ahead and play that, and then we will go from there. Take a look.
Have you found that when you go out and about, people recognize you, or is it?
When I fly, I had a flight attendant today. This morning, I was like half asleep on the plane. She came up to me and she was like plugging me like, so they didn't have French toast because they were all out of French toast, and
Bastards.
I was like, exactly, right. But she was like, do you want an egg sandwich? I'm like, no, I don't eat eggs. And then she was like, no, let me get you something. And then she was like, you're my hero. Let me get you whatever you want. And I'm like, I'm not a hero. Don't call me that. But I would take an Oreo box. So she plugged me with like Oreos and gummy bears. So I had like
One of your only things that you requested was, it literally just said, must have hot Latina chick next to me.
that was my only request for the entire show.
That was his rider. His whole rider.
Sarah was like, damn, Kyle wants hot Latina chick, and she checked the box and she came in. No, but we got you what you asked for.
Do you think I was a bully or something?
Listen. It's just nice. Like, you're just a nice kid, and I think it's nice that you came out of like such a shit situation wanting to do nice things for other people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
It shows a lot about your character and your integrity. Does it bother you that they keep calling you a kid?
Well, I am a kid.
I was gonna say.
Okay.
18-year-olds are
Well,
still- are
18,
still-
I don't know. I feel like when you're 18, you're like, I'm a man.
And just say that, but also, I would say a lot of people praying for you. Is it hard to keep faith through all this, or were you staying strong?
That's the only thing you can do through this is pray, and that's what I do. I wear my cross every day. You just gotta pray and hope God is on your side.
Mm-hmm. Amen. No, honestly, 100%. And I know that because I see you guys have crosses up in your house, everything like that. Your mom is always praying, and I've prayed with your mom, and everything's been wonderful, and I'm really happy. You still like Black Rifle Coffee, right?
I like Black Rifle Coffee. I think they have good coffee, and it was a fucking t-shirt, people. Jesus. Why does everything have to be so polarizing? It was a t-shirt that got picked up for me that was picked up off of a clearance rack because I had two shirts.
People heard your interview with Tucker, which I wanted that interview, but it's okay. But
My bad.
but gotcha. But like people were like, oh, he said this or he says that. People were like all surprised that you are just an individual person with your own views. And I remember I was telling people, I'm like, this happened when a guy was 17. How political were you at 17? Now he's 18. How much did you know at 18? Like, people have been wanting to use you for their advantage.
I was 17. I couldn't even vote. I don't even want to get into politics because it's something I'm not interested in. So,
yeah.
But like, look, I don't know politics. Like, I just don't understand them. I couldn't even vote.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say is people were like trying to say, like both sides were trying to make it so political. Like Kyle's this MAGA Trump guy and this and that. And I remember talking to you and it's like, I'm a kid. Like, I don't even vote. And I think America want to know, like, did you think you were going to win, or did you have any doubts during that time?
Well, I sort of knew I was gonna win when the Binger, we'll call him the Binger, lied in his opening statement saying I chased down Mr. Rosenbaum, which is factually incorrect. No matter how you look at the case, it's just not true. And then he dodges that in his closing argument, showing Rosenbaum chasing me down and grabbing my gun. So everything he said was just factually incorrect.
So do you have plans to work in media ever, or like what's your plans? I mean, like, can you say anything?
I want to be a lawyer.
Really?
Yeah, I want to go to law school.
Hell yes.
Wow.
If I ever need a lawyer, I'm hiring you.
So hold on. So did you just decide that during the trial, or was that something you always wanted to do?
Towards the end of trial, I'm like, I wanna go against corrupt piece of shit prosecutors like Thomas Binger and put them in their place and make sure they never practice law again.
I love that.
Carter sent you a lemon, I think. I don't know what this emoji is. Carson.
Cool thing about lemons, I'll eat lemon straight up. It's really good.
Well, LeBron said you're eating lemon drops, and then he got and then he got the flu.
Obviously, lemons don't make Kyle cry. He just eats them.
I eat them straight up.
I threw away my Lakers shirt. Just so everyone knows.
I mean, I'm kind of disappointed you had one in the first place.
I'm from LA. I'm trying to get rings.
I was a Lakers fan too before he said that.
Really?
Yeah.
I was really pissed off when he said that because I like LeBron. And then I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, LeBron.
Seriously.
Amen.
You have to give the man credit. It took all 4 of his brain cells to even construct that tweet.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he had to run it by China first.
Well, that's true. And then they promptly died. Yeah.
So he had Chinese slave children write it.
Exactly. For every word, they killed a Uyghur. It's very sad.
All right, guys. So, yeah, in my opinion, I actually love this conversation because I thought it was hilarious, right? I like seeing things kind of unscripted, people just kind of talking, showing their personalities and whatnot. And the more noteworthy things I think he talked about here is the fact that, he wants to be a lawyer now, right? He says, before they were saying that, he wants to be a nurse. And now, during this trial process, I found it interesting how, the prosecutor, Thomas Binger, who he says lied, right, about what happened. I found it interesting how he sees that a blatant corruption, and that kind of swings him in terms of what he wants to do with his career, right? It inspires him to be a lawyer, to want to take down those prosecutors who lie like that, during a trial. Now, I 100% support it. My only advice is, hey, don't make the same mistake Rashida Tlaib made, right? And go to a super expensive private law school that, it'll be hard for you to pay back your student loans. That is my only advice to him when it comes to that. But hey, if you want to be a lawyer and he wants to take on the system, right? He wants to sue all these people, right, that smeared him, that defamed him. Hey man, I say go for it, right? And then the other part I want to talk about is him addressing LeBron James and basically telling LeBron James, F you, right? Because LeBron James basically tried to say that his PTSD was fake and that he had fake tears, right? Which is actually not true. And I actually want you guys to listen to Kyle explain how he deals with PTSD. Take a look.
Before we even get into this, I think it's safe to ask, like, do you suffer with like any sort of PTSD from that night, or is it cool if we just talk about it?
Well, I have PTSD, but the best thing to do is joke about it.
Yeah.
I was like, there's a lot of jokes to be made. We got a couple more hours.
So we got to fill out another 2 hours. I hope so.
Like Brendan Herrera says, the AK guy, he's from Texas, I believe. The best way to cope is with memes.
Yeah, guys. So as you can see there, it sounds like to me that, he definitely is saying, hey, I do have PTSD. This does actually bother me. And, the way that I cope is through humor, right? And memes and stuff like that. And everybody has their mechanisms of coping with, PTSD and, other, mental illnesses that, people have, right? And, again, it's just one of those things that, just looking back on it, just how effed up it was for LeBron James to even imply that an 18-year-old who shot 3 people and killed 2 was somehow faking his tears, right? Somehow that was made up. That wasn't a traumatic experience, right? Anytime that you have to take a life, whether it's in self-defense or not, it's probably going to be traumatic, right? It's not something that we take lightly. And when he was talking about how he was a Lakers fan, up until that moment, I feel like a lot of people kind of feel that way about the Lakers and LeBron James, right? Well, me personally, people get on me. Some of you guys, you're like, oh, you always talking junk about LeBron James. I'm like, I really don't agree with his political views. I think that, for the most part, he stayed out of trouble. He's a family man. I can't really knock him for that. I can't knock him for, how he carries himself off the court. But it's just like, he could be so much greater, right? And he would be so much better, in my opinion, if he wasn't just so ignorant, right? Just specifically when it comes to the arena of politics, right? And I think, to me personally, I'm a Lakers fan as well, right? I've been a Lakers fan mainly growing up during the Kobe Bryant, Shaq era, right? I love Kobe Bryant. When Kobe Bryant died, I basically shed a few tears. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm a hardcore fan as well. But, I can't even really root for the Lakers like that because of LeBron James and some of his antics. Right? So, him saying that was just kind of interesting to me, and him addressing LeBron James with an F you for saying that, kind of, in my opinion, confirms, that those emotions were real, right? And that was an actual traumatic experience that he went through. And I think that it is kind of a sigh of relief to see that, this kid, at the end of the day, he's just a regular kid, right? He's just a regular person, right? He's just the same way probably I was when I was 18 years old, right? Laughing, joking, and playing. And anybody who has to go through an experience like that, and then be eviscerated by the media, everybody on the left side of the aisle basically hates the guy, just seeing him be happy and enjoying himself, I think in my opinion, is something I really, really like to see. So with that being said, again, highly recommend you guys check out this interview. Again, the whole point of this video is to tell you guys, if you want to kind of see a more uncut version of him, this conversation was definitely a great conversation for that. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.